Hello, my name is Catherine Taylor, and I'm a student in Dr. K's lab, and I'm excited to tell you about my research, which is looking at the hybridization kinetics of DNA in localized environments. And the reason why I'm interested in studying this is because of how protein synthesis occurs. In a ribosome, mRNA and tRNA are localized in just the right manner to allow them to hybridize in codon and anticodon fashion to allow for protein synthesis to occur. Now, these rates on how codons and anticodons come together are not well studied. There's been attempts at mathematically analyzing it, but there hasn't been a universal consensus on how that occurs. So I built a DNA nanostructure to study how this occurs. So this structure uses something called NOT logic, which is used a lot in computer science. All it means is if there's no input, there's a high output. If there is input, there's no input. And we look at that using fluorescence. The F refers to a fluorophore, Q is quencher. When they're in close contact, there's no fluorescence. So this input, presence of input, no fluorescence. If there is no input, then the structure cannot come together and there's high fluorescence. So how do we study this? So this scaffold allows for a localized environment. We assemble all of these pieces together except for gate 2B. Gate 2B and the input are added the following day so that we can study in real time how fluorescence decreases and create a mathematical description. So to make sure that what we are getting are true hybridization rates, we also design these nonsense sequences which should not bind right here. So looking at this relative fluorescence graph, I want to draw your attention to, first of all, that we are getting high fluorescence when there is no input. Once the input is bound, there is low fluorescence. So looking at these nonsense structures, we're seeing a little bit of a decrease in fluorescence, which means our structure is a little bit too flexible. So it's allowing for some pre-hybridization. So we're adding bridges in, and we're going to test to see if this eliminates these non-targeted interactions. So the hope is that this is the last optimization step before we can truly map how these codons and anticodons come together. So I look forward to discussing more about my research at the symposium, and thank you for your time.